Hi everyone, Nicholas Natt, and you are tuned in to the Natt Fitness Method.
You crazy mother.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I am incredibly excited to talk to you about something that I believe is pivotal. And when I say pivotal, I think that it's very pressing. It is absolutely mandatory, and it has to be something that you incorporate. And that is my vision, aka life board. The image is supposed to represent something that is very clear and concise in my mind. If you're in a position where you have created a vision board for yourself, or if you've created a life board, the difference between the two being that a life board is a lot more of a macro picture. It's looking at the goal setting of your entire life and the things that are most pertaining to you, not necessarily things in the shorter term. These are not necessarily exact, precise things. What is exact and what is precise is the emotional connection or the spiritual or the psychological connection that I am going to need to have when looking at these images. What I'd like to start with is one that I chose to put right here in the middle, and that's by Martin Luther King. Now, on this particular day, this picture is the end or the commencement of the I Have a Dream speech. And Martin Luther King himself is representation, but here you can see that there's over 250,000 people lined up outside Washington, D.C. to listen to this. And the reason that they do that is because they believe in something that he is speaking of. Not necessarily him, but what he is speaking on and what he is speaking about, and that is on human equality. And so what I really love about Martin Luther King is that the only limitations that really exist in my message to the world are the ones that you're willing to settle for in the head. And he said something that was a quote, and he said, "The ultimate measure of a man is not in moments of comfort and convenience, but at where he stands at times of challenge and controversy." And so what I like about that is that you can find out the will is incredible when everything is working for you in life. But the problem is when you're in a position when things aren't working so well and it seems like you're swimming against the current and adversities are and struggles and obstacles are popping up every single direction, you can get frustrated, and that's when it seems like the will is not as pressing. You're not moving in the state of momentum. Still, what this is basically saying is that the only limitation that exists is the one in your mind. And so I put that here in the center of my life board because it represents the heartbeat of all of these other things. There is a money with some gold coins here with a small plant, and that has to talk about financial abundance. So, for many people, finances are such a subject, and a lot of people, don't talk so much about finances from a standpoint of, things that they necessarily want. What I have made it very clear in my life is that I do not want to be in a position or come from a position in my life, and so that's why I work very hard now, but also work very intentional for the future, where I have to make decisions that are based around money. So that doesn't necessarily mean that I have to have $1 billion, but what this is very clear of is that I know exactly what I want out of life. I have a rough amount about how much I'll probably need to impact the life of myself or those around me. And so this is really showing that this is a plant that is showing a bottomless of opportunities as long as I'm willing to put in the work regarding resourcefulness and resources, aka finances. So I want to talk about this one. And as you guys can see, there's some blocks here that are pushing down to be able to move the world. And that at the bottom is influence. And it says you can make a difference. For me, it's not the you can make a difference that I put here at the bottom. What I really like about this is how one block continues to influence all the other blocks and eventually has the power to move the world. But just because you push this one block does not mean that this world is going to move. There needs to be a series of continual actions happening and other blocks moving in order for that. So I like it because there's delayed gratification piece to it. And what I also like about it is that you can do something way over here and not see the impact of what you're trying to do, potentially even until after you're dead. But if your sole vision is to have a lasting impact, is going to require you to have influence. And that's why it's imperative that you put yourself in a winning position by living out, not just saying, but actually, truly, authentically living out many, many, many perspectives, so that way you can see the world move. What I would also love to see here is Breon. As you guys know, I am a professional fitness model, and I also am a bodybuilder. Some of my dreams and my aspirations move into the classic physique category. And so I have a picture of Breon Ainsley here, who is actually the current Arnold's last Arnold Classic winner, as well as the last Olympia winner 2 times running. And so this is the picture of a posing routine that he took actually when he won the Arnold. And so I put that up, again, not so much because I want to be Breon Ainsley, but because that is the standard. The standard is not just going out and tackling the best shows, but going out and repeating that legacy and building a foundation and a representation of my name. And that is why I compete. And so I do have that on here each and every day. I think this is an imperative one here at the bottom. So what you can see here is a sunset and a beach, and you have a father figure with a daughter and a son, and they're playing together on the beach. And so a lot of people have asked, is that for family? Well, yeah, someday I do want to have a family, but believe it or not, I don't have kids right now, and I'm actually not married. And so it's not that I wanted to exclude a woman figure from this picture to say I don't want to have a family. What this picture is representative of is everything that is important to me about being a man, especially a black man, and being a great father. So I intentionally have the kids, and I intentionally have myself to showcase the love, to showcase the prosperity, and to showcase the presence that I would like to have in the lives of the future of the children that I am going to end up having. This one here, one of my favorites. For those of you who don't know, this is Kai Green. Kai Green is an incredible figure, and what I love about Kai Green is that Kai Green got into bodybuilding, and he really had a very elaborate and unique concept when it came to posing. And for those of you who know who he is, I don't need to elaborate any further. The guy is incredible at what he does and how he moves, and he really defies a lot of the stereotypes and concepts that say big men really can't move, which is a fallacy. But what I like about it is he really takes a concept really, really, really predicated around dance, and he's able to incorporate that through the body language and tell a story. And you really don't see the art of the dancing, in particular around hip hop and the pop and lock, that met bodybuilding. And so many bodybuilders long before him, Frank Zane, Schwarzenegger, a lot of these guys, even the other Olympias, who have been able to go out there and have an impact in their posing and storytell, have not really connected with the audience at the level of excitement to be able to do all of it at once. And so I bring him on there because it is the inspiration for not only what he did, but one, for going out there and doing what was unique to you, getting so damn good at it that he became an icon long after his impact in bodybuilding, because I believe he's in Hollywood right now doing some other big things, but because he was able to impact posing, and that is one of my goals as a bodybuilder, to eventually be able to take that to the next level and begin to continue exploring and expanding. What you're able to see here at the very top is one directly related to my business goals. Okay, so this is important because some of these do mix together, like money, like the podcast, like the New York Times best-selling, and the digital marketing sales funnel. So what I like about this is that what you guys understand is the internet is just crazy. And there's a guru out there, if you guys aren't familiar with him, his name is Gary Vaynerchuk. And Gary Vaynerchuk is highly known and respected for a lot of the stuff that he does in social media. But what I really like about what Gary Vaynerchuk says, and I do disagree or don't agree with everything that he says, but what I do agree with and what I do love about what he talks about is change in industry, change over time, and ultimately being happy, because that's really the macro of what he's been able to see. And over the course of our lifetime, at least my lifetime being 30 years old, what's coming to fruition that's changed life extraordinarily has been the internet. And so with internet, you're able to do a lot of crazy things. Now, I own a gym called Rocky Mountain Flex Fitness. That's what you call a brick and mortar, and it's a direct B to B or B2C relationship, but it's a brick and mortar. And so I have the privilege of connecting with people out here in Colorado, primarily in the Denver metro area. What this business allows you to do from digital marketing sales point is it allows for you to actually be able to connect with people outside of your area, and to be able to teach concepts to people that you probably would not normally be able to have the influence of connecting with or the opportunity to connect with, and to be able to spread. And at scale, you can have a much bigger impact in business. And obviously a lot of what I work around with Natt Fitness is around the digital brand, regarding the digital programs, regarding the digital media and the podcasting. And so that's why that is up here at the top, because that is a very elaborate business goal that I need to work towards each and every day. So to go into another one, which I think a lot of people might be able to actually connect with, I have the representation of travel here. I believe that travel really opens up the minds of people. People are able to get cool, unique concepts beyond what they see in their day-to-day life each and every day, wherever they live. And when you're in a position where you open up, you become a little bit androgynous. You become more open-minded. It gives you a very altered state of perspective, and it gives you a genuine respect for mankind as a collective. And I think what ends up happening is the differences in mediocre stuff that humans are notorious for separating become really, really, really minimized, because over time, people are able to realize you're a lot closer, you're really similar, as opposed to really being different. And so traveling is about that philosophy and expanding my mind, constantly growing, constantly learning, connecting with people and things that I would not normally see, especially points of view. But it's also about seeing the incredible things that the world has to offer. So I chose this picture because the 7 wonders of the world, simply for what they are. We have the Leaning Towers, you have the Eiffel Tower in there. You have the pyramids, you have Machu Picchu right here. And you have so many pieces in there that people have talked about. The Taj Mahal is over there in the back. And again, these are on opposite ends of the world. The Statue of Liberty is in New York, and the Taj Mahal is all the way to India, and then the Leaning Towers are in Italy. So I like this because it really requires the effort of going all around the world, and it's also representative that there's cool things everywhere, not just in certain locations. So that's a big goal. I love this one here with the boat here at the bottom of the house. And they represent different things, and again, the materialism, right? So I like to show this to people because I live in Colorado. For those of you who have never been, this is a picture of a house behind the Rocky Mountains, so I would love to own property out here in Colorado. But the big important piece that I like about this is that I really have all the lights on, and you have really a forest back there, and it gives you this really dwelling in a home effect. And I like to have some space, not just within the house, but really around the house, because land is important to me. And so that's why I put the picture here. As you guys can see here, I put a picture of a speedboat. Why a speedboat? You can have a lot more fun on a speedboat. And I think really about toys as a whole, especially the expensive ones. It's really about the experience. When you're in a position where you're assembling these things, go through daily, if not weekly, for a very, very, very continuous period of time. For me, I'm probably on my 30th day and still going to continue to do this for as long as I can. After sorting your canvas and getting the pictures on there, go through and talk yourself through each one of these points and ask yourself, what am I doing each and every day? Do I have any reserves as to why I'm not putting myself in a winning position to eventually make the impact that I want in a pressing goal, or to reach my standard, or to remember what's important to me and why those representations are things that I want to go and see and do? When you've done that, then you can put yourself in an emotional, responsive place, winning. And make sure, guys, when you're doing this, your vision board needs to be in a position where you can see it. My life board sits in my office. It's a place that I come to nearly every day, if not multiple times a day. And I'm in a position in the morning where I can sit here, look at it, reflecting, and remind myself why all those things are important. I want to say thank you for spending your time with me today and looking at this video and really being able to connect with this concept, because this is foundation. The foundation serves as the very essence of the platform on which you are trying to build any life dream, goal in the short term or long term with. Without it, remember, it is going to be very pressing, if even possible, to be consistent. My plans and my thoughts behind the message here, make sure you're in a position where you can connect with your dreams and your goals, and make sure that you have put emotional, spiritual, and psychological connection in a pictorial way so that you can see the direction of how you're moving. My name is Natt. Thank you for tuning into the Natt Fitness Method.